Hey, howdy and happy day. The level of corruption within the ranks of elected people and unelected as well, but let's talk now about the elected politicians in municipalities and provinces and states, and certainly in countries. So many of them, they make maybe $100,000 a year, double that, whatever that number is. They have dogs and cats and mortgages and spouses and so on, so the money goes quickly. But after being in Parliament or in the House for many years, you look at them and say, what happened here? You're worth tens and tens of millions of dollars. I've been saying for many years that we need a wealth test. And I ran it by politicians and they said, we're not going to have a wealth test. Are you crazy? Because that's us. And they don't want to investigate themselves because so many of them have so much money on the taxpayer's dime. If you work for me, you're not supposed to spend all day doing work for other people and getting paid from them, right? I mean, you might be a good investor, you can do that in your own time, but if you work for me, you have to work for me. And with regards to the political timelines, I guess, or timelines of a politician, they work all the time. They have to. They go to a hockey game, people come up and say, my garbage hasn't been picked up, and I don't like this, and I don't like that. And you have to deal with this. You're on full-time employment. And yet they're all really rich. So not all. That's not correct. Many, maybe most, but I know politicians who are billionaires, and they started off with that much, and now they have that much. Why is that? Somebody needs to have a wealth test and put them in jail. It's banana republics go after politicians and put them in jail. What happened to Canada? What happened to the United States and Great Britain and other countries? That's what you need. Canada's economy is kind of upside down, but there's been a big drain of money, and I also have been talking about this for many years. The government says that $12 billion a year leaves the country, and remittances call it, to the Philippines and other countries where workers come in. And I've been saying that. This is they're draining the economy. You go into a place like Toronto or Edmonton or pick a place, and there's so many Filipino workers, and bless them, they're hard workers, I get it, but their heads down and they're getting the job done, but nobody can understand them. That's another problem. But past that, they take the money and they send it home. Bless them for that. They're trying to help the people at home, but it hurts the economy, the Canadian economy. It hurts it, and that needs to be addressed. Immigration, it's not a good thing. I mean, in doses of little things, of course it is, but it isn't. Now, here's a story about a woman in Squamish who stole $200,000 from two Vancouver dentists that she worked with, and she's not going to face jail time. And there's a long list. I've compiled a list, and I won't bore you with naming them all. But it's incredible. There's so many bookkeepers. I'm talking Canada now. There's so many bookkeepers. I guess they're everywhere in the world. But specifically in Canada, dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of them. And most of them are women, female. They're bookkeepers and they steal. I had one steal from me years ago. She took $1.3 million out of one company account. $1.3 million. Roberta Gezin was her name. And it was in Kelowna, British Columbia. $1.3 million. I mean, we got back, I don't know, probably the majority of it was over $1 million that we got back. And she still owes money. It's been 7 or 8 years, and we're still suing her, and she's not in jail. And she's a thief. Really? And that's going on in so many places. There's no law enforcement. And not to single out my situation, there's so many others. Again, I got a long list. And of women in Toronto and Montreal, the odd one will go to jail. But not very many. And to get them in jail, it takes many, many years because the system is broken, the legal system. Just sharing, hey, don't hire a bookkeeper. Okay. Trump, he said, aluminum and steel, we got that. He says, I'm going to put 100% tariff on Canadian cars. We don't want Canada's cars. We want to make the cars in Detroit. I kind of get that. I mean, if you're to stand in Detroit and you're the leader of a country that you're saying should be forced, and you stand in Detroit and you look behind you and you have millions of square feet of warehouse and manufacturing plants that's empty, okay? They were just attacked years ago and the attack has continued. They're empty. There's nobody working there. And you look out across the river to Windsor and you say, wow, look at all those people working. And they're making all these cars and they sell them to us every day. So I kind of understand it. But I don't know, maybe approach it is the delivery. So it was kind of interesting times to see what happens. Now, the service industry in Canada has changed. Canadians, the country is not recognizable. And if you go from coast to coast, which I did 2 years ago, in a motorhome, 3 weeks on the road, you can't understand anybody. If you order a hamburger, you get a submarine sandwich. Everybody's from India. Nobody can speak the language. And the service industry in every store and so on. So that's more immigration. I don't care what nationality you are. I don't care what color you are. But when you're kind of in my house and visiting me, or better yet, or worse yet, if you move in and I don't understand you, it's kind of hard to live with you, right? I don't know, just a point of interest. And a wise man, last item of the day, a wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. You got to process that one. Hey, y'all come back and happy day, and politically right is right and left is wrong. See ya.